Hello everyone, Chris Santiago of MMA Island here. We're here with Dustin "Scrappy" Lampros, undefeated at 7-0. Dustin, how's it going today?
It's going great. How are you, Chris?
Pretty good, pretty good. What's the vibe like over here at Stanford MMA in Florida?
It's just, it's a lot of hard work. As you can tell, you got to catch the last 5 minutes of our session, and it's just like, you have the highest level guys coming in here every day trying to get better. So that type of environment's surreal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Then, talk to me a little bit about your last fight. Were you impressed with it? Were you okay with it? Were you satisfied?
Of course, getting the win, you can't, be upset with that. It definitely, was weird not getting the finish. I definitely wasn't used to that. After the fight, for the first 30 seconds, a minute, I was kind of thinking almost felt like I lost because I didn't finish the fight and I didn't realize I just beat him up for 15 minutes, and I still get the win. And going the distance for the first time as a professional was definitely probably the best thing for me. Mm-hmm. As much as I wanted to finish, as much as I wanted to keep, getting those knockouts, I think getting that cage time was really crucial for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Then, do you feel like a UFC call's on the horizon, or do you want to kind of build some more wins up, get some more wins?
I'm 7-0, and I know that I haven't had a whole lot of cage time with a lot of my fights ending fast. So, I don't mind. I want to do what's right. I want to take my time. I know in this sport there isn't a correct path, mm-hmm. but I'd like to do whatever it takes to make sure that I give myself the best opportunity to put myself in the best position, So if it means taking a couple more fights and then getting the call, that's fine. I know that they're interested in me, and I know that the 35 division in the UFC right now is completely stacked. Mm-hmm. So it's not just easy to walk in there. And, coming off the Ultimate Fighter show, I know that they like me and they like what I brought to it. So I'm not worried. I think if I don't get the short notice call here in July, then I'll just get it after this next win.
Awesome, sounds good. And obviously there's Contender Series, but now there's Road to the UFC. You have the Ultimate Fighter, obviously, which you've done. What do you think about all these outlets again, the UFC, Road to the UFC and Contender Series?
I think it's amazing. I think it's given all these fighters opportunities to show what they can do outside of a regional promotion, but not in the biggest promotion. It's that next step up. And I think it's great, and I think the Ultimate Fighter show, the Contender Series, the Road to the UFC is everything that us up-and-coming fighters need.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, we've seen you on the Ultimate Fighter before. Is it kind of weird looking at the new promos, new coaches, new staff?
Yeah, I was kind of all right, I've seen the colored jerseys, looking at, I think it's cool. I honestly haven't watched any of it yet. Ultimate Fighter was my favorite show growing up. It's how I found out about MMA. It's how I got into the sport, and I don't know if experiencing it and losing on it kind of made me a little salty, but I haven't got to tune into the new one, but I'm sure it's an awesome season. You have Amanda Nunes, who mm-hmm. is one of my favorite female fighters. She's just an animal, so I'm sure it's a good season.
Mm. Obviously, you're on Team Volkanovski. What's it like for him? What's it like for you to see him grow and get the respect that he deserves in his last two fights?
I still think he's underrated, and doesn't get the respect he deserves. The guy's he's an amazing fighter, and outside of fighting, he's a true human. He's genuine. He's a good guy, and I'm happy for Volkanovski. He's done everything right, and he continues to carry himself like a champion, and I'm blessed to have got to learn from him on the show.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And we're just kicking off summer. Do you have any fights lined up on the horizon for you?
Well, I'm going to get ready for July 9th, be the main event for Shamrock FC. I think it's 339, 338. I'm not exactly sure. We don't have a locked-in opponent yet.
Okay.
But we're going to plan for that, and that will be kind of either during or near Fight Week, I think, International Fight Week for UFC. It's in July, correct?
Yeah, it's a week after.
Week after. So I'm going to stay ready, and, if I can get a short notice call and it'll work out perfect because I'll be already in camp and cutting weight, it'd be nice. But if not, I'm going to fight July 9th for Shamrock FC in the main event. I'm going to go 8-0 and just take another step closer to that UFC contract.
What state, what's the venue, St. Louis or something?
It'll be St. Charles, Missouri at the Ameristar Casino. Yeah.
Aren't you from there, or
I'm from Southern Illinois, so it's it's 30 minutes over the bridge from St. Louis, and then probably a good hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour from St. Charles, Missouri. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the hardest thing about being away from your family over there? I know you and your little brother are close. What's the hardest thing about being away from them?
I mean, just it's in the question itself, being away from them. It's just not getting to have moments, maybe, lose out on a lot of time. A lot of time passes, and especially like my little brother being at a young age, he's growing and changing. So every time I see him, there's a little something different, and it kind of sucks and gets to me. But I've been down here for 7 years now, and I've just kind of came numb to it. Just had to keep pushing through it. I kind of ignore it, and I think of the big picture, But it sucks. Like, of course, that stuff runs through my head every day. I wake up, my family being away, thinking about the moments. They always say, family comes first, and I've had to put fighting first for the longest time to get ahead and get to where I need to be. And a lot of times throughout the day, down here, I'm thinking about like, did I make the right choice? How does it matter how far I make it in fighting if I don't have a relationship with my family? So I always have those constant battles in my head, But I believe that I'm doing the right thing, and I believe that in the future all this is going to pay off, and I'll be able to get back and reunite with my family and get to spend real quality time once I get to where I'm going.
What would it mean to you to not only get to the UFC and come back to your hometown, but to bring the UFC title wrapped around your shoulder, to your hometown, like, and to your family?
That would be every fighter's dream. That's, and beyond fighter's dream, that's every spectator that watches fighting. That's what they imagine when they're messing around in their living room. As them being the champion. Like, so that would be surreal. That would be a dream come true. That would make everything that I've dedicated the past 7 years, 10 years of my life in the sport for, it'd make it worth it. It'd mean the world to me to be able to bring that back to my hometown, and I believe that it's a possibility. I believe I have the potential to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. What's like the most motivation that you get out of Stanford? Like, what's one of the motivational quotes that somebody, like a teammate like Michael Chandler or like other teammates from Stanford have told you, like piece of advice that they've given you?
A piece of advice from another teammate. I got one getting into this sport when I was young, and I started off, and I was, wanting to be an MMA fighter, a UFC fighter, and I said, oh, this is what I want to do. At like 21, 22, I'm still an amateur, and I'm not really full time. I'm trying, but I'm not really in the gym as much as I should be. And Charles Rosa looked at me, like as a mentor, big brother, and he's just like, listen, he's like, if you're not obsessed with this, if this isn't everything, he goes, don't waste your time. I don't want to see you waste your time doing this. And then, you hit 30 years old and you never make it, and then you have to pick up and try doing something else. So like he, at a very young age, he looked at me and said, he's like, if, this isn't everything to you, don't waste your time. And that was like a little advice, like, he would give me. And, like you said, like Chandler himself, he's constantly, mentoring to some of us fighters, looking out for us, giving us his advice. I think there's a lot that I could say. I can't exactly think off the top of my head, like a specific, but that one with Rosa always kind of stuck, just him looking at me saying, hey, if this isn't everything, if you're not obsessed with this, if this doesn't mean everything to you, then don't waste your time on it, because it's one of those type of things that, this is a cutthroat sport. So you gotta really dedicate everything to it. And probably the biggest thing I've learned in this sport is, you gotta be a sponge and not have an ego. Mm-hmm. Everybody's gonna tell you what you should do. Everybody's gonna say, this is the right thing, this is the right way to do it. You should do this, you should take that fight, but you gotta have, swallow your pride sometimes, not let your ego take over. And that's probably the biggest bit of advice I've ever learned too. It's just not worrying about what anybody else thinks. Focus on your career and stay the course, and don't feed into anybody else's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. I think that's all the questions I have. I just want to thank you again for the time. Is there anything that you want to say to the fans out there watching?
No, Chris, I appreciate your time. It's great to officially meet you. It's been like, 2-3 years in the making now? Mm-hmm. But no, shout out to MMA Island, always having my back. I appreciate them very much. My team Stanford and all my sponsors. You can follow me on social media at Scrappy135 MMA, and look out for my next fight in July.